Popular thinking traps. They're also called ANTs, automatic negative thoughts. These automatic negative thoughts just come and pop into our brains. It's almost like they don't need permission to be there, and yet we all get consumed by them. So what are these popular thinking traps or overthinking that we all do? There's 6 of them, and today we're going to look at each one of them in detail. This will help us not only to stop overthinking, but also to start thinking. As the popular saying goes, think again, and think again if you're thinking. There are a number of popular thinking traps. They're also called thinking distortions. Some have a list of 13, some have a list of 20. What we're going to discuss today are 6 popular thinking traps. Namely, all or nothing thinking, jumping to conclusions, I must, I should thinking, overgeneralizing, focusing on the negative and the future, and self-blame. In my humble opinion, these 6 consume our thinking patterns, our thought processes. It's almost like we're going in circles when we look at each one of them. All or nothing thinking very often gets us into using a number of superlatives. Superlatives which mean always, most of the time, every time, and that gets us into trouble because we're trying to look at being perfect, and perfection is something that is always wanting because your yardstick, your benchmark, your bar that you have set for yourselves keeps shifting to a higher level. It's always at the extremes, at one end or the other. We feel that people either approve or disapprove. You agree or you disagree. You're with me or you're against me. You love me or you hate me. You support me or you're against. This extreme thinking gets us into trouble because a balanced view usually gets sacrificed. A so-called medium of thinking. Thinking the positive as well as the negative, and then exploring what could be the options. Very often when you look at all or nothing thinking, the negative always supersedes the positive, and it's very difficult to look at the positive. This invariably creates low self-esteem within a person, and they think low of themselves. This creates problems later on only to increase the anxiety, which in the first place was supposed to be solved by so-called thinking. However, the thinking is in extremes. It's at 2 different oscillations, at 2 different tangents. That is why being able to have a balanced view of positives and negatives help in a great way. Embracing mistakes helps in a great way. Looking at the positive, as small as that may be, helps in a great way. Looking at progress rather than perfection helps in a huge manner. So focus on the progress rather than reading or trying to reach perfection.